This tournament, as much as it's defined by the great days like we saw from Phil Mickelson yesterday, it's also defined by the disasters, both large and small. Everything from Doug Sanders in 1970 to Jean Van de Velde in 1999. Winning a major championship can change your life, but losing one can do the same thing.
The Prodigy. Today it's one man. Just yesterday, it seems, it was someone else. Once, it was Bobby Clampett.
He's a really dedicated young man. We haven't seen the last of him.
Everybody had the highest expectations that he was going to be the next one to dominate the professional sport.
Twice, Clampett was National College Player of the Year. At the 1982 U.S. Open, only two people beat him, Tom Watson and Jack Nicklaus. Clampett was 22. It was a time when being that good, that young, was outrageous.
Did you ever think that you were going to win major championships?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Did you expect that you would?
Absolutely, yeah, and was surprised I didn't. I felt like I was on a road to greatness, but that road got interrupted.
Interrupted here at Troon.
Still remember teeing off the first hole with Chip Beck and the sound of bagpipers and seeing all the flags of the countries represented.
It was 1982. Clampett arrived at the Open just 3 weeks after his near miss at Pebble Beach.
You had never played golf in Scotland before, and you go out and shoot 67 in the first round?
Well, I shot 65 in practice round with Gary Player on Tuesday. I didn't feel anything but great confidence.
With a two-shot first-round lead, Clampett's confidence only grew the next day.
I remember still hitting that 6-iron on Friday, second shot into 18 and hitting it close to the hole and making the putt for birdie to shoot 66.
Bobby Clampett, Open rookie, had a 5-shot lead. It was nothing less than stunning. Standing on the 6th tee the next day, the lead had now ballooned to 7. But then, he misplayed a pair of bunker shots, which led to a triple bogey. By the end of the day, Clampett had shot 78 and saw his lead shrink to 1.
I certainly felt all the momentum was gone after that triple bogey. It did take a lot of wind out of my sails.
A 77 on Sunday completed the collapse. Tom Watson collected the claret jug for the 4th time, and Bobby Clampett was left to wonder.
I started to question that maybe I need to change something.
So he did, in countless ways, until he was hopelessly confused. There was one win the following year, but that was it.
If I had told you that Bobby Clampett was going to win exactly one time on the PGA Tour, back then, would you have been surprised?
I would have said no way. You know, I would have thought that Bobby would have been a guy that would have won 8 to 10 times, you know, and compete in other major championships.
Come on, Bill. Activate that workhorse. There you go. Stay on those heels.
It is 34 years later, and Clampett has found a new passion. His own searching and 2 decades of watching swings as a broadcaster sparked an epiphany. He believes he's found the answer, and he is consumed with sharing it.
The answer is golf is a game of impact. It's not a game of swing style. Push.
He is happy and fulfilled helping others, but he knows things could have been different.
There you go.
How often through the years have you thought about Troon?
Quite a bit. It was a real turning point. If I could have trusted my swing and just accepted the swing that I had, I would have had a much better career.
And that was my first Open, Mike, but I'll tell you what, it's a cautionary tale in a number of different ways. Number one, no lead is safe here at the Open Championship. The other thing is, and we've seen this throughout the years, when players get some type of success, they are always searching. And sometimes the answer is that what you've got can work pretty well.
That's why this game is the lifetime experiment. One quick question. Sometimes when you go back and open up an old wound, if you will, you can see that it scars somebody to talk about it, or they're at peace with it. What did you find when you talked to Bobby about what happened here a third of a century ago?
Yeah, I was reluctant to talk to him about it. Obviously, it's a pretty sensitive topic for him, or at least I would have thought it was. He's totally at peace with this. He is totally into being an instructor now. He really believes that, you know, he was a guy who came to golf and, you know, had a lot of success early through something called Homer Kelly's Golf Machine, a book that was a little bit eccentric. And he changed his ways, but he's very, very happy, and I think he's at peace, to answer your question.
It's good to see his reaction there when you talked about that new passion. Great story as always. Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, Mike. Good to see you again.
Same here, pal. Let's head back to the 14th.
Mike, thanks. Pat and Kazire, this for Birdie. I want to ask a question of you, Nick. Just a moment. This was earlier. We'll watch this first.
I've got to tell you, I was on a bullet train in Japan with Bobby, and he asked me, do I rotate, pivot, or tilt my ankles? As true as I sit here.
Overthinking it?
Just a tad.
We'll